Yo, what's up, guys? We back with another video, and today we're doing a review on WWE 2K23. Fun fact: this is my fourth time recording this video because my mic has been bugging for some reason, but I got it fixed. So yeah, basically we're just gonna be running down the positives and negatives of WWE 2K23, and at the end I'm gonna give my final thoughts on it. See if you should tell you guys whether you should buy it, wait for a sale, or just straight up skip it. Disclaimer: take this review with a grain of salt because I have 24 plus hours on the game, but I haven't touched every single mode yet. So universe mode has largely been untouched for me. I dabbled into it, so I can mention it at the end, but I haven't spent extensive amounts of time on it. And the Lock My Rise story mode, I haven't been into either. I started with the Legacy. But without further ado, let's get started. First positive I have on my list: great gameplay. The best way to describe the gameplay of 2K23, it's a refined 2K22, and I love 22's gameplay. 23 took whatever 22 did well in its gameplay aspect and cranked it up to 11. It's a lot more realistic. The wrestlers roll out a lot more, but not in an annoying way that it was in 22. It just feels more cohesive. It flows better. The AI is a lot smarter and harder now, and that ties into one of my later on sorry about that, I'm a little sick, but that ties into one of my later positive points. But overall the gameplay feels very solid. It does. Plenty of match types. Wargames runs great. All that. Disclaimer: I'm playing on PlayStation 5, by the way. It may be different on PS4. It might be different. It might run a little bit differently. Positive number 2. Now this one's gonna shock y'all. Y'all ready? Showcase mode is actually okay this year. Now, me personally, I would still rather not have Showcase mode. I'm just not that much of a fan of Showcase mode. But this year they add some twists and turns. The way it's handled, where you use Cena's opponents instead of Cena himself, I think was pretty cool. Not really much to say. Just all in all, it was handled better than previous years. It was definitely handled better than previous years. The objective-based gameplay can still be really annoying, especially on Legend difficulty. But other than that, it was fun. It was a cool little thing. It shouldn't take you that long to complete. Positive number 3: GM mode has seen significant improvements from last year's game. I know everyone remembers GM mode of last year. It was pretty underwhelming, to say the least. I don't think it was bad. I just think it was underwhelming. It left out a lot of features, like they added the ability for tag titles later on, but not at launch. Mid-card titles were completely gone. You couldn't adjust the length of your show and PLEs. All that's in this game right at launch. And what I really like is it's not just one season. You compete over multiple seasons, and you're actually competing for an overarching goal into getting into the Hall of Fame. Now, I assume the goal is to get into the Hall of Fame before your opponent. I believe that's the goal. But I really enjoy the fact that it's not just one season and then you go into the very next thing. It takes place over multiple seasons. There's shakeups. All of that is in GM mode this year, and I think it helps to really bring out GM mode's personality a lot more, like that old school personality from the earlier SmackDown versus Raws. Positive number 4: My Rise actually has choices that affect your path this year. I really enjoyed this. My Rise last year didn't really have choices. You kind of just chose whether you want to be a face or a heel at some point, and then it's like that would determine whether you were locked out of certain stories or not. But you could just flip on the at the press of a couple buttons. You could just flip to the other side, and then easily do those stories. I believe that's how that was. I haven't played My Rise in 22 in a long time, but yeah, I didn't care for that. Here, you actually have choices that affect your pathing in the main stories, and it forces replayability actually. So like, you're trying to go like a full heal route. That's cool. Replay. You could replay the entire My Rise story as a face the next time and see the choices you missed. Probably get completely different matches, completely different storylines. So I think that's pretty cool. It's nothing groundbreaking, of course, and I do think there should be more choices because there's not a whole lot. At least from where I'm at in the Legacy storyline right now, I think I am pretty deep into it. But that's probably my only complaint. There should be a bit more choices. But other than that, I think that's a really solid addition. Positive number 5, and this ties into the great gameplay. The game actually feels more difficult, especially on Legend difficulty. Now I'm sure we're long-time wrestling game players here. Legend difficulty has never been difficult ever, or maybe I'm just really good. I don't know, but like, Legend difficulty has always been easy, especially last year. Last year was no different. It was incredibly easy. This year, I don't know what, the AI reverses a whole lot more. They're naturally just more aggressive. They use different moves, so you can't guess their combo very often, so you can break out of them. It's very harder to do that this year. They're just overall they're a lot smarter, and they're just more aggressive, and it makes for more fun gameplay because it's like, you can't just run through the entire roster on Legend unless you're like really good. And like, you feel the higher rated wrestlers. Like, you fight Roman Reigns, it's like, oh wait, whoa, like Roman is actually like good. He's strong. You feel like that strength, and you have to like, you gotta be pretty good. You gotta be pretty sturdy and know the controls and all that to beat him. So yeah, I think that was I think whatever they tweaked with the AI, keep it like that for the following wrestling games, because what they did here was great. And that can also tie into my last positive point, AI tendencies. So what AI tendencies is, for example, Omos. You can set his tendency to not do any top rope moves at all, and have him do more heavy strike and grapples, for example. I think this is a beautiful addition, and I wish more people would talk about it, honestly. Because it makes wrestlers play more like their real life counterparts. In 22, some of the wrestlers did not act like how they should, or how they did on television. Like, I see some big men that have never gone to the top rope before going to the top rope. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, that's not your style, bro. Like, come on. You can set that in this game to where they do that way less, and do something else that they normally do way more. So it makes it feel more immersive, and makes it feel almost realistic to like a broadcast, to like an actual broadcast that you would watch on television. So that's all the positives. A lot of positives in this. This is a very good game. This is a very good game. But unfortunately, we have some negatives here. Not a lot though. But my first negative, and I do think this is the big one. This is a big negative. Locking certain attires behind my faction. I don't hate my faction. I don't. It's okay. I'm in. Like, it's alright. I hate the way 2K handles my faction though. I don't think locking content behind essentially a pay-to-win mode. Essentially, it's not exactly like my team in the NBA 2K, so I'm not gonna say like it's just straight up pay to win, but like it essentially like has that sort of formula kind of. And locking certain content behind that it's not a good look. For example, 2011 Miz was available last year in 22 from the Rey Mysterio showcase, and you can use him anywhere. This year, the only way to use Miz is to get him in my faction and use him only in my faction. You cannot use him anywhere else. And this is made worse by from what I understand, I could be wrong on this, but from what I understand, they put like a my faction block kind of on the community creation, so you can't take attires from my faction and put them in the community creations for other people to use. That kind of gives 2K a bit of a scummy look, in my personal opinion. It does, because it's like you're locking off content for a mode that I see on Twitter and Instagram a lot. People don't really care for my faction. They don't like it. Like I said, it's okay to me. Like, I'll play it, but I'm not like a super big fan of it. A lot of people don't care for the mode, and it's like, it just seems like 2K is a bit tone deaf in that aspect by not listening to people and just putting the extra attires like as actual characters, or at the very least having us go through community creations to do it. At the very least, have us do that. Thankfully, our second and last negative, surprisingly, is nowhere near as bad. But this might just be a personal nitpick for me. But the side stories in My Rise still aren't super cohesive with the main story. So what I mean by that is this thing with in 22 where you would do a side story and they wouldn't even reference that you're a champion. I believe, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your wrestler wouldn't even come out with a belt if the story didn't even involve the championship. The same thing is kind of done here. They very, very rarely allude to you being a champion unless that side story has actually to do with you being a champion. Again, so far, I haven't touched the luck, and I'm not done with the legacy yet, so I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like so far. I'm not a huge fan of that. It makes the main story and the side story feel like two completely different worlds, where I feel like it could be handled much better if they were more intertwined and cohesive with each other. But again, that could just be a personal nitpick for me. Let me know how you guys feel about it. But yeah, so those were all my positives and negatives. Not a lot of negatives, man. Not a lot of negatives at all. So I think my verdict, I think you guys should buy it, honestly. I don't even think you have to wait for a sale. I think now, as far as buying the deluxe or icon editions, I got the icon edition because I'm just a big wrestling fan, and B, I love 2K22. But the DLC packs aren't super crazy. I don't know if you're like a really big Bad Bunny fan or whatever. If you're not really a fan of the DLC or whatever, I say, or you're like on the fence about it, I say get the standard edition, play the game for a little while, gauge your interest from there. If you see yourself spending a lot of time with the game, I say maybe go for a couple DLC packs with your favorite wrestlers that are in it. But yeah, I think you should get the game. If you're a wrestling fan and you've loved previous wrestling video games, this is better than 22. This was definitely better than 22. And me personally, I enjoyed 2K22. Again, for me personally, other people may have had different experiences, but for me, I haven't run into any glitches like that. The game crashed on me one time, but 24 plus hours, the game crashed on me once. That's not bad, bro. That's not bad. I haven't touched online, so I can't really speak on the servers. Although I have heard the servers are a little crazy. Servers could be a little wonky, but that's if you play NBA 2K, that's typical 2K stuff, bro. That's typical. But yeah, guys. So my final verdict, I think the standard edition, I think is a safe buy. I think that's a safe buy. But yep, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Like and subscribe. Comment down below if y'all want me to do more reviews like this. Because I'd absolutely love to. I still got we still doing the Gran Turismo challenge run. Don't even worry about that. We got more videos of that coming up. I still got videos of reviewing classic games of 2023, seeing how they hold up in this day and age. We still got more of those coming up. I got content for y'all, bro. I got content. Don't even worry about that. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Again, like and subscribe. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace.